Hi there, I'm Vincent Boss and I provide dating and self-improvement advice. And in today's podcast, we're going to be discussing games your ex plays after a breakup. I provide audio coaching to help people try and get their ex back or get a new girlfriend or boyfriend. Check out my website for more details, www.dateme.tips. Please check your spam and junk folders if you are expecting an email from me. So now let's get back into today's podcast, and today we are discussing games your ex plays after a breakup. So if you have gone through a breakup, it's very likely that you're experiencing emotional turmoil. The last thing you need right now is for your ex to be playing games. Unfortunately, some exes do play games. Sometimes they play games deliberately, and sometimes it's subconscious, and they don't realise they are playing these frustrating, confusing games. In today's podcast, I'm going to tell you of 3 potential games that your ex might play. So let's get straight into this, and number 1 is social media inflated life. We have to understand that what people put on social media is what people want us to see on social media. Now, this doesn't mean that everything you see on social media is false. This doesn't mean that everything you see on social media isn't true and not a representation of what somebody is experiencing right now. But what we have to understand is that people have the ability to inflate their social media output. So although it doesn't necessarily mean it's false, we have to understand that it could be false, or it certainly could be a false representation of somebody's life. An example would be if you have gone through a breakup and then you see online your ex posting all of these things which showcase themselves as living an exciting, fulfilling life. Now, this doesn't mean that they aren't doing the things they are posting online. Maybe they're showcasing themselves going to parties, going clubbing, doing all of these new activities. These things could be true. But what we have to understand is it doesn't represent their life 24/7. You are seeing a snapshot of their life. They are not showing you the boring, the mundane, and the sadness. They are not showing you the times where they are reflecting on their life and thinking, you know what, being single isn't always great. Okay, you are not seeing their life 24/7. You are seeing what they want you to see. The world is seeing what your ex wants them to see. Now, is this something where your ex is trying to get at you? Is this something where your ex is trying to intrigue you, play mind games with you specifically? Not necessarily. You know, I'm a big believer, especially in the case of dumpers, but when a dumper ends a relationship, they move into the single honeymoon period, and they do live a life that they want to live. And they want to live a life where they believe they will feel more fulfilled outside of this relationship. So it's very unlikely that they would want to be hurting a dumpy, intriguing a dumpy, playing mind games with a dumpy, specifically in this moment. But more likely, this could be a wider situation where they are playing games with the general public, where they're playing games with their other friends, their friends of friends, anybody else that sees their output of social media. Because at this time, they're showing themselves as a brand new person, a single person, living life to the full, and they will be putting everything online which represents themselves in this way. There is only one person who truly knows why they post on social media what they do, and that is the person who is posting the social media. So if this is a dumper, then it's only the dumper who knows why they are putting the social media output that they are. So do I believe that this is something where the dumper is trying to tease the dumpy, intrigue the dumpy, hurt the dumpy? I would say it's very unlikely, but of course I can't say for 100% certainty. I would say it's more likely that the dumper in this instance will be putting things out into the world, trying to showcase themselves as someone who is happy, carefree and fun, somebody who is wanting to mix with new people, somebody who is someone that other people want to spend time with. This type of behaviour is the type of behaviour that a single person is likely to do if they want to make new connections. And as a dumpy, this might be very hard to hear, but we have to understand it's the reality. The reality is that your former partner is somebody who is moving out into the world as a single person at this time, and they want to present themselves as somebody that others might want to spend time with. That is what people do. And I suggest to everybody, behave in a way which is happy, carefree and fun. So if you see posts on social media where your ex has gone clubbing, whether they've gone to a party, whether they're doing a whole range of different activities, this doesn't necessarily mean they didn't do this. This doesn't necessarily mean that it's a lie and they didn't do these things, but it is their best self. They are presenting themselves in the best possible light. They are not showcasing the times they are bored, sad and lonely. And hence, if you are a dumpy, or if you're in any position and you see your ex's social media output and you think they are living a life much more exciting than mine, you have to understand that they are being very selective on what they're showing online. So I always say to people, do not check your ex's social media. It will never help you. It will only cause you to consider more things, wonder about more questions, and ultimately feel sad, feel depressed, feel upset. All of these negative feelings are what you are likely to get from checking your ex's social media. It won't answer questions. It will just create more questions in your mind. So now let's move into point number 2 and the second point of today's podcast about games your ex plays after a breakup. And point number 2 is text teasing. So you can't have a relationship with your phone, and hence it's so frustrating when your ex texts you, but seemingly it leads nowhere. Maybe this is something which happens periodically, and every time they seem to be interested for a while, but unwilling to take things forward. If you're both looking for platonic texting, then that's fine. But if you want more than that, and you spend hours texting an ex with no development, it can be very frustrating. To make matters worse, your ex might seem hot and cold, vanishing for weeks on end, before having hours of texts or phone calls with you. In essence, you're being friend-zoned by the phone. It's so important you navigate the communication stage effectively, establishing if you're both looking for the same thing without causing awkward situations. This is something that I can certainly help you with during my audio coaching support. If you feel speaking to me could help, then please check out my website www.dateme.tips for more details. I can help you navigate this tricky communication stage in a way where you find out, is your ex in or out of the situation? What is your ex actually looking for? And how you can progress forward with your life in a positive way with or without your ex. So if you feel that you're struggling with this communication stage, if you feel that your ex is texting you, phoning you, and you can't get out of this friend zone, then you might want to consider my audio coaching service. Ultimately, if somebody texts you, I believe that in the vast majority of instances, it is polite to reply and try to grow this communication depending on how you feel and what you are looking for. But the important thing is that you understand your mindset, your position, and how this connects with your ex. If you feel platonic with your ex, then you might feel fine texting, having phone calls every so often. That's absolutely fine. That's wonderful. But if you want more, if you still have romantic feelings for your ex, then you can't do this. If two people try to have a platonic friendship where one person feels romance and the other person just feels platonic, it will not work. You will just get hurt. And at the end of the day, two people who are in a platonic friendship will one day start speaking about their own dating life. And if you are secretly holding romantic feelings for your ex, then you will be heartbroken once again if and when they mention they are dating somebody new. So this isn't something which can carry on. So if you feel that your ex is being a text tease, you need to make sure that you navigate this correctly so that if this is not working for you, you can move forward out of this connection in a positive way. And you need to make sure that if you do feel this is going along the right lines, that you progress things positively to the next stage. Texting teasing, unfortunately, is a game that some exes will play if they feel bored, if they feel that they are lonely and they want to make sure that their former partner is still waiting for them. This is something that they might do. And hence it's very important you understand what is going on ASAP. Now, please don't confuse this with breadcrumbs. I'm a big believer that you can grow the largest tree from the smallest seed. And hence, if your ex texts you 1 or 2 words, I do believe you should reply, and you can grow this. I'm not calling this texting teasing. This is not what I'm getting at in this particular podcast. What I am saying is if you have prolonged conversations, hours and hours of texting, hours and hours of telephone calls that don't seem to progress anywhere when you want them to, then this is a text tease game, and this is where you need to be really fully focusing on how to move from this in a positive way. So now let's get into point number 3 and the final point of today's podcast about games your ex plays after a breakup. And point number 3 is fake forever love. So if you've just gone through a breakup and you find out either via social media or friends or somebody else who has just let you know that your ex seems to be loved up with a new person, this can be very, very painful, very, very hurting in your mind, because you're thinking, we've just been in a relationship. How can my ex be out of this relationship and with somebody new right now? Well, the situation on this is that it is likely a rebound relationship. Now, if you want to understand rebound relationships in depth, I've done many podcasts on the subject, so please remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel, ring the bell for notifications, and check out my content on rebound relationships. But for now, we're just going to be speaking about the games exes play and the fake forever love. So somebody who is really showcasing this strong, passionate desire of love straight after a previous relationship is likely to be a rebound. And a rebound relationship generally will just last a few months, if not even less than that, sometimes even just weeks. However, it can seem very intense. And this is one instance where the ex in this situation is probably playing a game subconsciously. They probably don't realise that this is unlikely to last long term, because they are in the mindset of trying to grab hold of things they are missing from their previous relationship, and jumping into a new relationship will enable them to experience some of those things whilst also experiencing a new connection. They might think this is for real, but the likelihood is it won't last long term. Of course, we can never say for certain that something won't last long term. There are always exceptions to the rule. But in most instances, this is fake forever love. And you might find out that your ex is telling everybody, look, this person is the one. I want to get married to them. Let's get married really quick. Let's move in together. Let's go on holiday together. All of these crazy things. But at the end of the day, it is likely to be fake forever love. It's likely to be a rebound relationship which does not last very long at all. Your ex is not likely to be somebody who is knowingly playing this game. But it can still be very hurtful for you looking at your ex into this connection and wondering what this means about your relationship. Please always remember that this doesn't devalue your relationship with your ex. That relationship was real, it was special, it was magical, and there was love. Just because your ex is behaving in this way with somebody else right now does not devalue what you had. In the months and years to come, this current connection that your ex is in right now is not likely to exist. It's unlikely that your ex will be with this new person in many years to come. So you can look at this and see from that point of view that your relationship was more substantial and more meaningful. And this relationship your ex is in right now, even though they're claiming it's all wonderful and exciting and forever, ultimately it's likely to be something which was not that valuable in the end. It's not likely to be based on firm foundations. So although this can be a very painful game, but you can see your ex playing, this is not likely to be a game that they realise they're playing. This is likely to be subconscious, and hence you just need to move forward with your own life. Let your ex do their own thing, and that you will likely find out passively in the future that your ex is now single again, because this relationship is unlikely to last long term. If you believe that this podcast has helped you, then please consider buying me a coffee. The link to do so is in the description.
Yeah, if you miss your ex, we can help with that. Help you get him back, or we can help find you someone else. Yeah, Vincent, the relationship coach, giving you some insight, bringing you a new approach. DateMe.tips, go and check the site, giving you advice, helping with your love life. Get your ex back, or move to the next. Ain't no sweat, you know Vincent got you. Finding love ain't no problem. Yeah, DateMe.tips, check it out now.